Cleveland is a special place that many of us call home. How many times were you sitting around your dinner table or in the living room sharing those special memories with family and friends? Isn't it true a lot of the memories that we talk about today is when we participated in sports years ago? Many of us had dreamed about playing on a beautiful baseball field, their championship game. Today, these young men will receive that honor of playing on a beautiful baseball field, ages 16 to 18. Many of them, it'll be their final opportunity to play right here at the Jim Thome Athletic Complex at Brookside Park's Taldy Field. It took a team effort from everyone, sponsors like the Cleveland Baseball Federation, Cleveland Indian Charities, volunteer coaches, City of Cleveland, TV20, all of us to provide this opportunity to enjoy the game they love. Welcome to Brookside Park for the 2019 Cleveland Senior Baseball Championship game between the Estabrook Sox and the Michael Zone Raiders. Hi, I'm Tim Wells, and my partners are in the house again. Tom Castleberry, the former head coach of the Lincoln West Wolverines. He's coming out of retirement. I'm just kidding. Colin Robertson, our president of the Greater Cleveland Umpires, is also here. Again, Tom, when we talk about senior baseball, we're looking at some players that can really play, and some of them will be going on to college. It could be exciting to watch here today.
Yep, just talking to a few people before the game as they were warming up, just hearing some of the places they're going to college and some of the things they've already done this summer. I'm really excited and looking forward to it.
Well, let's take a look at the teams. First of all, the Estabrook Sox, they're the visiting team. They come in at 6-4. They're coached by Rob Neal and Brian Trimble. They've had playoff wins, beating Estabrook 16-13, and then beating and upsetting our number one seed, Gunning Park, 10-6. And Tom, when you talked to the coach, what were some of the keys to the game for them?
Yeah, the first thing he said, and we hear this all the time, is he needs some strong starting pitching. He also thought it was key that they get some clutch hitting with runners on base, and he plans on being real aggressive once they get on the bases.
And then when you look at their key players, a pretty good group at that. Starts with their catcher, Austin Mitchell, and he's here on the left.
Yeah, he's their strong leader for them. He's got a super strong arm. He's a great defensive catcher. In the middle there, we have Travis Cardinal, the right fielder. He's very consistent in pretty much every aspect of the game. He has the ability to hit, he can pitch, he plays the field well. And then finally, the first baseman, Nate Story, number 18. He's one of their motivators on the team. He's a good pitcher with some really nice control.
And then when you look at the other team, the Michael Zone Raiders, they'll be in the brown with the black lettering. They come in at 7-1. They're coached by a veteran coach, Archangel Martinez, and a young man with a lot of energy, very familiar to you, Tom, Alex Perella. And then you look at their playoff wins. They beat the Dugan Tigers 12-3, and they were in a nail-biter, but they pulled it out, came from behind. They beat Glenville Recreation 6-4. But their keys to the game, somewhat similar, Tom.
Yeah, once again, he really needs some strong starting pitching to go deep into the game, so they don't have to worry about their relief pitchers coming in. They were also looking for some clutch hitting, but one thing that always seems to happen in these championship games, he really wants to score early to gain some momentum.
And then obviously, when you're looking at their players, they have a pretty good group at that. Let's talk about the key players for the Michael Zone Raiders.
It all starts with number 4 pitcher, Colin Harris. He's also a consistent hitter. Coach said he just really loves the game, and he throws a lot of strikes. Also, they have Connor O'Donnell, and he's also just a great all-around player. And then their second baseman, Dylan Eaton, is also one of their pitchers, but he's good middle and opposite field power. And Coach said he has ice in his veins, so that's what you need in these championship games.
Well, we've talked about the keys. We've talked about the game. We also have talked about their records and what it is to be here. And obviously, we are excited to have them. And right now, we're going to go over to Edwin Santiago for the player introductions.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Talty Field, Brookside Park, for the 2019 Senior Boys Baseball Championship. Today's match will feature Michael J. Zone against Estabrook Sox. Introducing Estabrook Sox. A freshman at Mount Union, second baseman number 16, Dylan Eaton. Freshman at Tri-C West, left fielder number 19, Alex Soto. Number 10's first baseman, Kevin Morales. Freshman at Mount Union, pitcher number 4, Colin Harris. Playing right field, number 3, Connor O'Donnell. Sophomore at St. Clair, center fielder number 6, Kyle Dixon. Twelfth grader at Rose, shortstop number 9, Angel Ches. We're number 17 from Mercyhurst, third baseman Aaron Harrison. Number 13 is a catcher from Thomas Jefferson, Franklin Cepeda. Where number 7 is Humberto Reyes. Michael J. Zone team is coached by Mr. Archangel Martinez and assisted by Alex Perella. Let's introduce the Estabrook Sox. Freshman from Tri-C West, center fielder number 1, Dominic Sawyer. Left fielders number 9, Donnie Croft. Number 4 is a right fielder from Parma, Travis Cardinal. Freshman from Eastern Michigan, catcher number 5, Austin Mitchell. 12th grader at Parma, the pitcher number 12, Darren Neal. Second baseman is number 14, 10th grader at Holy Name, CJ Forster. 11th grader at Parma High School, first baseman number 18, Nate Story. Playing shortstop number 7, Dylan Trimble. Number 11 is third baseman from Tri-C West, John Goins. North Ridgeville 11th grader number 15, the extra hitter in the lineup, Mike Fleckbart. Where number 19 is Ahmed Santos. Pitcher first baseman number 13, Dominic Beeman. Number 6 is 11th grader at Lutheran West, Julian Croft. 11th grader at Fairview, number 10, Kevin Plasek. We're in number 2, Anthony Pietro Lugo. Estabrook Sox are managed by Mr. Rob Neal, assisted by Brian Trimble, Dave Fleckbart, and Kevin Plasek. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. National anthem will be played by Mr. Rick Peters.
And the presenting of the flag was done by the VFW 2850. Again, Ray Diaz, Art Fletcher, Chuck Loeffler coming here. And again, what an outstanding job they've done being part of these events every year. Again, we try to keep our veterans and armed services people in mind. But first, we're going to talk about the Cleveland umpires. And Colin Robertson, can you tell us a little bit about the gentlemen who are going to call the game today?
Yes, sir, Tim. These are all Ohio High School certified umpires for the city of Cleveland as well as the state of Ohio. Home plate umpires is Kevin Stowers, 29 years as an umpire, 1976 graduate of East Tech High School, Hopkins Airport supervisor. Our first base umpire is Dennis Malberti, 6 years as an umpire, 1982 graduate of Eastlake North High School, employed by Amazon. Second base umpire is George Berry, 11 years as an umpire, 1981 graduate of Shaw High School, employed by USPS. Third base umpire is Ricky Meadows, 11 years as an umpire, 1980 graduate of South High School, currently employed by Wall Street Recycling.
Well, again, there you see it, our standing officials. Again, Coach, they're going to have to deal with some modifications. Not that many, but it will have an impact on the game.
Yeah, we're only going to play a 7-inning game here. And in our batting order, we do have an additional hitter in each lineup, so 10 players will bat instead of the normal 9. The bases are still 90 feet apart. The pitcher's mound is still 60 foot 6 inches. There is a mandatory play rule, so every batter, every person will bat. Everyone must play the field, and the starters are allowed to re-enter a game just as in high school. There is a run spread rule, which is 10 runs after 5 innings. We also play with the speed up rule, so intentional walks, pitches do not have to be thrown, and there is a courtesy runner for our catcher. And if we have an extra inning runner at second base at the start of the inning, and the visiting team will start with the runner at second with the last batted out. So if we get to the extra innings, we'll worry about that then.
Well, we'll take a look at the starting lineup. It's the Estabrook Sox. They'll be batting first, and leading off is their center fielder, Dominic Sawyer, batting .322. Batting second, number 9, Donnie Croft, the left fielder, at .315. Batting third, number 4, Travis Carnell, the right fielder, at .364. Batting fourth, their pitcher, number 12, Darren Neal, at .275. Batting fifth is their catcher, number 5, Austin Mitchell, at .380. Batting sixth is C.J. Forster. He'll play shortstop, number 14. Following him is Nate Story, the first baseman, number 18. Then Dylan Trimble, he'll be the EP, and he's hitting .290. John Goins will play third base, and he's hitting .200. And wrapping up the lineup is their second baseman, Mike Flackbart, hitting .175. But, Coach, the Michael Zone Raiders have been talking about defense. Let's talk about them today.
Yeah, going around the outfield and left field, number 19, Alex Soto. Running around in center field will be Kyle Dixon, number 6. And over in right field is number 3, Connor O'Donnell. Coming around the infield at third base is number 17, Aaron Harrison. At shortstop, number 9, Angel Chavez. At second base, number 16, Dylan Eaton. Over at first base is number 10, Kevin Morales. Behind the plate, number 13, Franklin Cepeda. And on the mound, number 4, the lefty, Colin Harris.
And earlier today, we had a chance to catch up with the assistant coach, Alex Perella, as he gave us his views of his starting pitcher today, Colin Harris.
Our starting pitcher today is Colin Harris. For Colin Harris to be successful today, he needs to command his fastball, throw strikes, and let his defense work.
So you are looking at Brookside Park, Tall Tee Field, part of the Jim Thome Athletic Complex in Cleveland Metropolitan Parks. And if you have not been down here to see it, it is something to see. This is the big boys. We call them senior baseball. And we're going to see some great play. And again, we want to remind you, this is a 7-inning ball game. 2 outstanding teams. Many of them have been on a RBI tournament team as well. And we'll be talking through the day today on the telecast. We'll talk to the head coach of the Cleveland RBI team that will be going to Vero Beach, Florida for the World Series. So we'll find out a little bit about them. But Colin, again, this age group, these umpires, they've got to be on their game, and you got a great crew at that. And what do they think about when they come out on a championship game?
Well, it's like anything else, Tim. I'm sure the players are nervous. The umpires are the same way. They're nervous also until we get that first play under their belt and they're ready to go. We've got a great umpire at home plate, first, second, and third. These guys have all done high school ball for the last 18, 20 years. They're ready to go.
And they'll take the first one up high. Leading off is Dominic Sawyer. He'll go to Tri-C West as a freshman. And again, his career ambition is get into marketing. Likes the Indians and Francisco Lindor. A lot of patience.
Be interesting early too to see some of these hitters, because you can see on the field there that the pitcher's in the sun, and all of a sudden it comes right into the shadow. So I wonder how they're picking up the ball there.
Well, the whole right field of this field, the whole right center is everything. The sun is brutal out there at all times, Coach.
Got a little bit of a breeze blowing in, not much. They're giving us a temperature starting time of 78 degrees at the start of the ball game.
Thank God it's not like the high school championship game, right, Coach? Where it was 50 degrees.
It's a little bit warmer than that day. I think I'll be able to hold on to my pencil at the end of this game still.
And the first man draws the walk. And now it'll be Donnie Croft, the left fielder. He'll be attending Baldwin Wallace University. Wants to be a neurosurgeon.
You know he's a smart man because his favorite player is Michael Brantley.
There you go.
This is just the start that Coach Martinez didn't want to see happen. His pitcher struggling to find the strike zone a little bit.
Well, I've seen Kevin Stowers umpire a lot of games. He is probably the most consistent. And if you think you're going to get a high strike, it's not good.
You are sadly mistaken. You are correct. He is so consistent. He was a good ball player back in his day, too.
There he goes. They had a little hit and run on. Nothing doing. That one fouled back. Also at the top of the inning, we're going to be talking to a very special guest from the VFW 2850, Art Ledger. Going to find out what's going on with the veterans of foreign war.
On that point, Tim, I think some of our umpires should be veterans of foreign wars for some of the leagues we've worked this year. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. To third, over to second. Oh, it went by him. He'll round second and get in there, back to third. So the first error of the ball game is on the third baseman, Aaron Harrison.
It's hard to tell what happened there because he had it in plenty of time. I don't know if he threw it wide. The second baseman couldn't see it. It was hard to see.
We'll see it here on the replay, Coach.
Hey, it looked like he set himself, but the throw almost just, yeah, it almost looked like it was close enough in the second baseman, but he just couldn't see it. But luckily, O'Donnell was backing it up, so it didn't get worse for him.
That sun probably was an impact on that ball. So now batting is number 3, their third hole hitter, number 4, Travis Carnell, the right fielder. Big hitter, 364, and they'll move up. So it's second and third now. Nobody out here in the first inning. Again, Carnell is a 12th grader. He'll be going to Parma High School. He wants to be an accountant. There's the throw, no going.
Great throw, great throw.
So the line out to the left fielder. A nice catch by Alex Soto.
I'm sure they've seen enough to know they weren't even thinking about running on him, and that was a good thing they didn't because he made a nice strong throw to the plate.
See, went with the pitch there, Coach, but here's that throw you were talking about.
He got himself behind the ball before he ever caught it, so it made a nice and easy throw for him.
Perfect position, set up.
So now, number 5, Austin Mitchell. Unless I missed something here. He's going to hit one deep. This will definitely score the run. So the sac fly puts him on the board as Dominic Sawyer comes in to score. So 2 down. And now it's Darren Neal, the pitcher. Hitting .275 on the year. And Darren wants to be a police officer. That's a tough job these days, being a police officer.
I have 3 family members who are Cleveland police officers, and you worry about them every day out there. You worry about them every day when they're on duty.
Foul that one off. So we got 2 down.
Harris did a nice job of working around that early walk and error to only give up 1. That's pretty good.
So Neal goes down. That ends the inning. But they come up with 1 run. They had a little help with the error, and they did get it on the sacrifice fly. So now, going to go to the middle of the first inning. We'll look at it right here, Coach.
Yeah, he threw a nice little breaking ball, had him way out in front there. Seemed to have found his rhythm a little bit as the inning went on.
So we'll take a look at the home team. Again, we mentioned they come in at 7-1, 9-1 with the 2 playoff wins. The Michael Zone Raiders, they're in the brown and the black. Leading off will be number 16, Dylan Eaton, playing second base, hitting .363. Alex Soto, number 19 in left field at .340. Kevin Morales will bat third. Number 10, number 10, and he'll play first base. Batting fourth is Colin Harris. He was your left-hand pitcher you just saw. Batting fifth is Connor O'Donnell in right field, hitting .330. Batting sixth is Kyle Dixon, the center fielder, at .295. Then you have the shortstop, number 9, Angel Chaez, and he's hitting .250. Batting eighth is Aaron Harrison. He'll play third base at .286. Franklin Cepeda will bat ninth, the catcher at .302, hitting number 13. And rounding out the lineup will be number 7, Herberto Reyes. He'll be the extra hitter. He's hitting .264. So, Tom, what about the defense of the Estabrook Sox?
Yeah, out in left field, number 9, Donnie Croft. In center field, Dominic Sawyer, number 1. And over in right field, Travis Carnell, number 4. In the infield, John Goins, number 11, will be at third base. At shortstop is number 14, C.J. Forster. Over at second is number 15, Mike Flackbart. At first base, Nate Story, number 18. Behind the plate, number 5, Austin Mitchell. And then on the bump tonight, number 12, Darren Neal.
Well, earlier today, we caught up with the head coach of the Estabrook Sox, again, Rob Neal, and we asked his views of his starting pitcher today.
Okay, starting on the mound for us tonight is Darren Neal. For us to be successful, we need Darren to get ahead in the count, keep the batters off balance with his off-speed pitches, and maintain his composure.
So again, it's all about throwing strikes, getting ahead. And leading off right here in the bottom of the first inning for the Michael Zone Raiders is number 16, Dylan Eaton. and he will be attending Mount Union as a freshman. 363 on the year. He wants to become a teacher.
Yeah, I'll talk to him after the game. Make sure he gets set straight before he starts getting to school.
Again, Eaton had 2 big key doubles in their last playoff game.
Nice breaking ball there, got him chasing that. Nice to see Coach Perella giving back, being over there coaching, helping out with Michael Zone.
What do you remember about him, Coach?
He likes to talk a little bit, just a little. We came to the conclusion over the summer when I was talking to him that he was probably a pretty good infielder, but he ended up being an outfielder because the coach was sick of hearing him, and he agreed that he believes that was the reason.
First man down on a strikeout. So now coming up is Alex Soto, the left fielder, hitting 340. He plans on attending Tri-C West as a freshman. He's got an itch for the Yankees and Mike Trout.
It's an interesting combination.
You better believe it. I can see the Trout move, but the Bronx, come on, man. Takes one down low. And obviously, folks at home that have just joined us, you're watching senior baseball here from Brookside Talty Field. We really would like you to be part of today's telecast, as at the end of the day, we'll see if you can match our 2 other announcers in the house. This one's down the line. They're going to throw to second, and he's in there with a double. So Alex Soto, and what I was telling you folks, we'll take a look at it here, Coach.
Yeah, you can tell why he's hitting 340. That pitch was on the outside corner. He didn't try to do too much with it. Just hit it right down the line. That ball just skipped on that turf, and he was able to hustle in for a double.
This is number 10, Kevin Morales, base hit up the middle. Going to hold him there. He didn't waste no time to put the bat on the ball. Hitting 371 on the year. So now it'll be their pitcher, number 4, Colin Harris, hitting 330. He's going to also attend Mount Union as a freshman. You know, they're getting some pitching over at Mount Union. I just noticed this.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the connection.
Yeah. Fly ball pretty deep. He caught it. Great catch by the left fielder. They'll tie the game on the sacrifice fly.
That could have been a lot worse. He made one good catch out there. He went and go got it.
Way to go, Donnie Croft. That's who you're looking at. The young man with a great catch. So we're tied at 1. Sacrifice fly by Harrison. Now it's Connor O'Donnell.
Left too early. Left too early. Thank you.
And they're taking the run off the board. They said he left too early.
No run.
So they're saying that he left too early. I don't know if we'll be able to pick it up on a replay here.
There we go, Tim. It's your turn. You folks at home, you make the call.
Now that's Colin speaking, folks. I don't know, Dougie, do we have anything? I'm sure we were looking on the catch. I don't know if we picked up the tag, because he hit that ball a good 320 feet in the air. We had only the catch. So we know we always go by the umpire.
Another great call by the umpires, Tim.
So the run comes off the board. We'll count that as a mental mistake in the books. So it's the third out. So now we're going to the top of the second inning. So joining us is a special guest from the VFW 2850. Art, welcome to TV20.
It's good to be back again. Thank you so much.
You know, we have this annual conversation, but you know what I noticed, Art? Every time you guys start coming now, we're getting a better field.
That's what's great about it.
We got to keep this going so we can get a couple more better fields in this system.
That's all we got to do every year.
Obviously, a very special day, a base hit here. We're going to try to keep this game going, too. So, Coach, I hope you keep track of the score here as we're talking.
All over.
Thank you, sir. That was C.J. Forster. Now it's Nate Story. You think he's big enough for a first baseman, Coach?
Yeah, I think that's a position that was made for him. And a nice job here in keeping his hands back on the breaking ball in that last one. Just dumped it in the center field.
He's in there.
He got a huge jump.
They're going on the first move, Coach.
Yeah, you pretty much have to. I don't know what their coach told them, but usually when you got a lefty, if you get the steal sign, just go and hope he doesn't pick you off. And if he does, just keep running, hope he doesn't throw you out.
Fly ball, pop up. Backing up under it. Made the catch, the second baseman. Nice catch by Dylan. So, Art, let me ask you this. Let's talk from the very beginning. Let's talk a little bit about VFW 2850. What can you tell me about it?
Number one, it is a great place for veterans, period, whether they served in the foreign war or not. Our establishment is open to all. As members, veterans of a foreign war is what we look for. Our commander here, Ray Diaz, he has us thumb on top of all of us. All right.
He's tough on you, huh?
Yeah, he does the commanding, believe me. Yes. Yeah.
Said he's in there. Coach, I don't know. There's a lot of bang-bang plays here.
Yeah, that one was hard to see. We were kind of blocked a little bit, but looked like a good throw. He must have had a pretty big jump.
You're looking at Dylan Trimble, the extra player. But obviously, when you're talking about the VFW and foreign wars, you know, with the way society is today and everything, and the troops that are still overseas, you got to be thinking about them every minute of the day.
Well, yeah, the thing about it is you don't ever leave the service. And if you ever go to that front line, you will always worry about those that are there. And it's so important that the younger folks need to understand that this is a job that has to be done to keep America free.
I understand.
I have a guest here, too, Chuck Lawford.
Chuck's here?
Yes, he's the on our board, and I'd like to see him come over here and get in here with us.
We're going to try to get him in right after we get you away from you. We only got the certain amount of mics, but we'll get Chuck in here.
Yeah.
But Art, the other thing is, obviously, for you guys to come down here, it has to be a very special feeling. One, for the people that are playing here to see it, but two, for you guys to come out here and be recognized. That you got to feel pretty good about that.
We do, and we feel like really special guests.
I'll tell you what, they decided as soon as you came in here, we're going to start hitting.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
I'm
That's
telling
what I'm
you.
talking about.
Now it's Mike Flackbart.
I think we've pretty much seen all the hits tonight. The batter's just doing a good job of hitting the ball wherever it was pitched. They're not trying to pull everything. They're not trying to hit everything over the fence. They're just hitting it wherever it was pitched.
Can you tell us about some of the projects that you guys do throughout the year?
Yes. Well, normally we have our annual picnic, but also there's different dances that we do put on. We have DJs come in, and our drinks are very reasonable there. We also have other folks that are not veterans that can become and get a membership there. So we won't say we're open to the public, but we accept different folks.
Coach, that brings us to the end of that inning. But they got now a 2-0 lead. And obviously, when you're talking about VFW and all the things that are going on, obviously, sometimes people say, veteran of 4 wars, what's that all about? Some of the young people don't understand it. Can you explain it?
It means wars that took place outside of American soil, foreign lands, and we've all participated in a conflict or war to become a member of the VFW. And that can go from Korea, Iraq, Vietnam, all the places that we have had to go to war.
I remember, I'm going back a few years, I won't say how many, but I remember going there one time, and the guy's name was Chuck that was over there, and Tommy Forcappa.
Yes.
You know, those guys, they brought me there, and I remember they had the greatest fish fry in the world. I was hoping they would call me and say, hey, we got that fish fry, you coming? Heck yeah, as soon as I got up at work, I was there. Do they still have them fish fries going on?
Yeah, we don't have Tommy anymore, but we still have fish fries going on. And that starts during the Lent time, and every Friday, is that correct? Yes.
Well, obviously, if they would like to find more out about the Veteran Foreign Wars in 2850, is there a number or is there a website? Is there some way we can call to find out?
Well, on West 61st is our building.
Okay.
And if they ring that doorbell, we will let them in and talk to them.
Oh,
there.
that'd be
Yes.
great. That'd be great. All right, can we get Chuck in here for a minute? Let's bring Chuck in. The commander thinks he can get away from us, but he ain't getting away from us. I'm watching him.
Hey, help out. On deck, start grabbing the ball.
Chuck, welcome to TV20.
All right, thank you.
You know, you've been here for a few of our events. You had the little kids, you had the juniors, you got the seniors. Anyone more favorite than the other one?
Yeah, my grandson.
Is he playing here today?
No.
Oh, he was playing here yesterday?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's just here.
He loves it, huh? Well, first of all, I first want to say thank you very much for what you guys do, coming down here every year.
We're glad to do it.
Making this happen. And
We got that one.
These guys got to quit knocking the covers off these balls.
yeah, am I correct, Coach? That one right over that fence?
Oh, he crushed it. That
did.
left fielder didn't move too much. I think that's why he was one of the star players.
They better check the bat, huh? Oh, that was...
Yeah, Connor O'Donnell got a hold of that one and just turned on it.
No question about it. Chuck, tell me this, fought for our country. What was that experience like?
It's an experience you can't really explain unless you've been there. It's tough.
Now, what armed service group were you with at the time?
I was in the Army,
In the Army?
the 1st Cav Division.
Now, do you ever get to watch some of the Army movies and all them coming up every year?
I watch them all.
Do you? I'll
Yep.
tell you what. Was Pat Nett tough back then?
I don't know. I never met the man. Never cared to meet the man.
You know, my father fought in a war, and I fought at Iwo Jima. You know, he was a Marine. Now I knew why he was tough after I saw the movie. I said, "Oh my Lord!" But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people that have provided from their service. We have been able to have a free country here, and do our thing, and we're so grateful.
Yeah.
But what advice do you give to there might be a young teenager out there right now thinking about joining the armed service? What advice would you give him?
Keep a strong head on his shoulder. If that's what he wants to do, go for it. There's not too much else out there for him now.
Yeah, that's some nice hustle there by Dixon after this double. Ball got away and he just took off. He did not hesitate at all. Advanced on the throwing error.
If you stay here, we might be here till midnight the way they're hitting the ball. I don't think we made it out yet, have we, Coach?
Nope. First two batters, 2 shots.
That's way past our bedtime.
But obviously, first of all, when you're talking about veteran foreign wars, a lot of times you guys are asked to go to the parades and do some of that other stuff. But it seems like to me sometimes I think, and maybe you can answer better than I am, but it seems like sometimes they forget the veterans of foreign wars. Do you ever feel that way, that sometimes that happens?
They do, but they remember more than not for the most part.
Yeah.
They're pretty good about it.
It's a great country.
Okay. They're finally recognizing the Nam people.
You better believe it. You better believe it. And I'll tell you what, your commander, Ray Diaz, I've known him for a long, long time. Mr. Ray Diaz, the commander, I knew when he was coaching the basketball kids. And he was tough on them, but I'm telling you, toward the end, I think they drove him nuts, you know. But he changed a lot of kids' lives and taught them a lot of good things. And I'll tell you what, you got a good leader over there. And
yeah, he's a pretty good man.
Yes, he is.
Just ask his wife.
Oh, I don't know. You better be in a good house there. But listen, we appreciate you coming by and talking to us. And again, thank you so much for being part of our
You're
event
welcome
today.
Glad to be here.
Okay.
See you next year.
Okay, thank you. Chuck Loeffler from the VFW 2850 stopping by here. So we're looking at number 9, Angel Chavez.
Corey was just telling me that kid who hit the home run, that's his 6th one down here. He hit 3 in one day. Wow.
So now batting is number 17, their third baseman, Aaron Harrison. Again, Aaron Harrison. And again, Aaron Harrison, he'll be attending Mercyhurst as a freshman. Wants to be detective. Look at that team he picked, Coach.
Yeah, but at least he went with Michael Brantley as his favorite player, even if he did pick the Astros.
That's true.
You could see him almost trying to do a little too much there with 1 out. They just want to get that run home from third. And you could hear Coach Perla down there just saying, just put the ball in play, put it in play.
2-1. We're in the second, as you can see. Foul that one back. You know, Colin, you're back with us. I wanted to ask you the last play where they did that appeal.
Okay, Tim, that was a live ball appeal. If somebody had called timeout, the pitcher would have to go on the rubber, step off and throw over and call the play, which it was, a runner left early. On live ball, on a live ball appeal, all you have to do is hold the ball and ask, did he leave too early? and the umpire makes the call from that point.
So, man, if I'm teaching my guys, I'm doing it live. That way I don't mess it up.
A lot quicker and easier.
Franklin Cepeda, the catcher, 3-0-2. Hits to third, going to second for one. They
Nice
turn a
play.
pair.
Nice play.
6-4-3. We are tied here. Look at this play here, Coach.
Yeah, he did a good job. It was a hard play to get to, and he got rid of it really quick. And a nice turn by the second baseman, got him just by a half step there.
So we are now going to the top of the third inning, tied at 2. And if I have it right, we should be at the top of the order here.
Yep.
It'll be Dominic Sawyer, and he walked and scored the first time. Obviously, we want to let you folks know, as we were mentioning earlier, that our 2 announcers will be selecting an outstanding player of the game. Let's see if you can match them. And let me tell you, anytime that you can match an umpire, you're doing something special. Trying to get our pitching stats over here. So again, Coach, your first impression, the first 2 innings?
Yeah, it looked like we said before the game, maybe a little bit of butterflies, a little bit of nerves as they threw the ball around a little bit, a couple walks. Then the hitters have definitely settled in, maybe like we said, because the shadow has now disappeared. The whole field's covered. Maybe they're seeing the ball better, but looks like we got a new pitcher now, so we'll see how they adjust to the new pitcher.
And the new pitcher looks like number 9. Angel Chavez. If I butchered that up too bad, I apologize. Chavez. Okay, we had a chance to catch up with Alex Perella and to get his views of Angel Chavez, a relief pitcher that might come in today, and he has. So, Alex?
Our relief pitcher today is going to be Angel Chavez. For what Angel needs to do to be successful, he needs to throw strikes and also command his fastball and be able to throw his off speed for strikes.
So you're now looking at the leadoff batter, Dominic Sawyer. He started out with a walk, came around and scored. Round ball, came up to get it. Throw, and he got him.
Nice play by Morales. Or no, that's Colin Harris over there now at first base. Coming off the base, reaching back and getting the tag. Got defensive changes all over the place.
If we can keep up with this, we should be playing checkers.
Yeah, Soto made a nice stop, but sometimes on those quick ones he rushed it, and Harris did a nice job coming off the base.
I don't want to say it because I'll get made fun of here, but it was a good call by the umpire. He did make the tag.
Every once in a while, I mean, they get it right.
Oh my God, thanks, Coach.
I mean, every game I coached and they were always right. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah. You know, the big difference, Coach, you were on top of your game. So we didn't have too many problems with you.
I'm a little older now, so you know.
Now, Tim Wells, that was a different story.
Oh, in my younger day, I admit I was bad.
Oh, he was death on umpires.
So, Coach, you know, we'll be talking pretty soon here with the head coach in another inning or two here, but the guys going to the World Series. You've been to a World Series, and you know a little bit about what it's about. What kind of goes through their mind when they're preparing for those?
Well, the 2 times I went were 2 totally different experiences. One time, we had to go straight from Cincinnati after we won the next morning, right to Florida for the World Series. And the other time, similar to what the team's doing now, we had a week in between. And with the week in between, you just start getting anxious. You want to get on the road. You want to get down there. You want to get the World Series started. These kids don't know what they're about to experience with all the special attention. Great throw there.
Great throw. Right on the money. Right on the money.
But I'm sure they're extra excited. Just talking to Coach Douglas before the game, I know he's excited about the group that he has. He feels confident in them. And you see just a great throw, perfect throw, right on the money. All you have to do is drop the glove down. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of that extra stuff that goes into it, making sure you're gonna be gone for a week now. You got enough clothes. What are you supposed to bring? You know. So it's kind of a nice distraction. And then on top of that, you know, Coach Douglas is working them on the field, so that'll take up a lot of their time.
Well, you know, I was watching the last play, Colin, where they had the steal at second base. It kind of reminded me, I remember back then when I was very young, I would just pray, please make this a good catch, a nice tag, and a simple call.
Did you see how easy that was? I mean, the catcher got out of the box quick. Second baseman's in perfect position. Made the perfect tag. Really a nice play.
So the base hit by Travis Carnell. Now, obviously, when the umpires are doing this age level, a different type of, not so much leniency with the rule type thing.
Yes, exactly. I mean, these kids are high school players. Half of them are going off to college someplace. So you give them a little bit of a break. You let them play, just let them play baseball. And we strive for that in every game we try and do. But you know yourself, that's tough to do. Just let them play. Because you got the coaches and some of the parents get involved, and it's tough. It's tough.
Third inning, man on first, 2 down, ground ball to the shortstop. He'll wind up and throw over, and he called him out. So again, a nice job by the defense of Michael Zone. You're right, Coach. They have settled down, and they're now making the basic plays that you were hoping for.
Yeah, he did a nice job right here. Thought he was going to go for the short out, but maybe he was on his backhand, so he wasn't so sure where he was. But he set himself, got behind him, and a nice strong throw to first, and got him.
Another great call at first, Tim.
Okay, here we go. Middle of the third. Coming up for the Michael Zone Raiders. You have it right here, Coach.
Yep, we are back to the top of the order with Dylan Eaton. And it looks like we have a new pitcher for Estabrook as well this inning.
Now, if I was an umpire and that happened to me, I'd tell him, if you can't catch the ball, Coach, get out of here.
That coach is going to have a nice bruise tomorrow, too.
He's begging for him to take it easy on him. So again, where you had a chance to catch up with Rob Neal about his relief pitcher today. Let's hear what he has to say.
And in relief tonight, I have Nate Story. I need Nate to locate his fastball, keep his walks to a minimum, and just maintain control and pace of the game.
Was playing first base. Now he's gone to pitch. And Darren Neal went over to first base, so that's the switch.
I saw this kid early in the year, and I looked up at him. He's 6'6". Remember old Sam McDowell was down here the first day when we opened up? 6'6". I never knew Sam McDowell was that tall. I knew he was big, but I didn't know he was that tall.
Well, if this kid throws anything like Sam down the road, he's in great shape. Again, he wants to be a carpenter. And the pitching stats have been pretty similar. You know, you're looking at 77% in the Sox for strikes, 76%. They're right around 30 pitches. You know, 6 out of 9 players they face first pitch strikes. You get that kind of stuff. It's okay to call that kind of game, Coach, huh?
Yeah, I think that early we saw more balls, and lately they've been in the strike zone a lot more. The only time we see them going out is when they're trying to go out and bounce one.
This pitcher, his brother, was an all-star on the junior team. We gave him a trophy the other night. I think he played for the Old Indians, if I'm not mistaken.
Juniors. Can't remember who we had. I'm thinking it was Gunning and somebody. I think on the juniors. Takes one up high.
Story looks like he's having a little trouble to find the strike zone, but he might have some of those nerves. His first pitch, first batter he's throwing to.
Well, his brother was telling me a little while ago he threw 120 pitches in a game last week. This pitcher.
120?
120. That's why he didn't start the game tonight.
Wow. At least he's had the full week rest.
Yes, that's the only thing that's good at this age level. Yep.
Even 2-2 count. We want to remind you to stay tuned to TV20 next week, because we will be headed over to Impet Pool, where it'll be the 2019 Outdoor Swim Meet. It'll be the Outdoor Pools Competitive Swim Meet. Well, he came back and he got him.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he has a little pop on his fastball, and he put that right at the knees.
Well, if he's throwing at the knees, he has a friend there behind that plate that will call those strikes. And you look at it here, Tom.
Yeah, you can see he put that right on the outside corner, right at the bottom of the kneecap.
You know what I missed from the other night, Tim? The bongos.
Yeah.
Where are the bongos?
Well, they're getting ready for the Hispanic parade.
There
you go. Practicing a little bit, I think.
There you go.
They were doing okay the other night. Ground ball. Could be a tough play. He got there and beat him to it.
I'll tell you what, Coach, the other night, it was crazy down here. They had so many people down here. It was unbelievable.
I told him I wanted a little quieter tonight.
You got it.
We appreciate it, because the guy back in the truck kept telling us, speak up, we can't hear you.
Yep.
Like, well, I'm glad you know that, because I can't hear myself.
I hear music coming from someplace.
So Kevin Morales, he singled his first time up. Again, you start looking at Kevin Morales. 371 on the year, plays first base. Oh, wait a minute. I got the wrong one. Alex Soto, he's the left fielder.
Moved in, played third base last thing after the pitching change.
So they moved him to third. Thanks, Coach. 6 runs scored. Engineer, Yankees, RBI player. It is an RBI league, and we're going to get a chance to explain that in a short period of time.
That looked like the first breaking ball that Story was able to kind of get a grip of and throw it where he wanted it.
Swing and a miss. Maybe there was something to that VFW hitting. 3 up, 3 down. And we go to the top of the 4th inning, where we are tied here at Brookside Park. Again, you're looking at 16 to 18-year-olds. And again, when you're talking about the Senior Baseball League, again, they played on Monday and Wednesday evenings. And we had a total of 8 teams, correct me, 10 teams. And there was some great baseball that was played. And the other thing that I'd like to point out about a lot of them is a lot of them that have qualified to get onto the RBI team and look to go to Florida. They've also realized that, hey, this league that gives them the opportunity to play is also totally free because of the sponsorship through Cleveland Indian Charities, the Cleveland Baseball Federation.
The Cleveland Indians don't get enough recognition for what they do for this city. I mean, these fields, along with Major League Baseball, I mean, it's huge, and people just aren't aware of what the Indians do for this city.
Yeah, kids only knew what it was like in some of the other places, the other cities, how much they have to pay.
Yep.
I was just talking to my neighbor about it, whose son is getting old enough to start playing, and I was telling him, I said, you know, it just keeps getting worse as they get older and older. Wait till you see how much more expensive it gets, and for these kids to have that chance to just go out and play baseball for free,
yep,
it's amazing.
So leading off is Darren Neal, who's now playing first base. He went down swinging the first time. High hopper. Stayed back on it nice, made the good play.
Yeah, smart there too, because a lot of times you try to come in and get that short hop. He knew he had some time with the runner. Not a lot of speed going down the baseline, so he took his time, got the big hop, and made the nice start throw.
I'm pretty sure most of these kids haven't played on a field like this, all AstroTurf. That ball gets to you in a hurry. And that kid laid back and waited on it and made a nice throw.
Well, I think the turf fields, as much as they're becoming popular and more popular, I think it's drastically changed the game in this sense that you better have some guys in that outfield that get some speed, because once it hits, it takes off on you.
We saw that the other night. A couple of hoppers went over the kid's head and they weren't ready for it.
Nice job blocking. That's another thing I notice umpires really enjoy, when they have a good, solid defensive catcher that can block the ball.
That's what we first tell them. You know what your job is tonight, young man? Protect me.
And as a coach, that's what we tell our catchers too. We said, you know what? The more you protect them, the better the calls look.
That's job number 1.
2-2. And take one inside. Full count.
All pass balls you guys get. Let them know that. Fine. Wait. There we go.
Forster's having a nice battle bat here after singling his first time up. 2 stolen bases. They need to keep him off the bases.
I think when you get 2 teams playing this way and you get this kind of nice, cool weather, you look around, the crowd is very good. They're just quiet and enjoying the game. That's 2 handled by the third baseman.
pretty good considering he started the game in left field.
That's where they hit him in left field?
Started the game in left and then came in to third after the pitching change.
Big Nate Story now pitching. He popped up his first time up. Dang, that 6'6" looks bigger than 6'6". And you pointed it out to me. I'm like, wow.
Says that when I first saw him, I'm looking up at him. I said, how tall are you? Oh, I'm 6'6". Well,
you know, I bet 10-1 how many coaches came up to him that were basketball coaches said, do you want to play basketball?
For as big as he is, though, he doesn't have that big, slow swing like you see a lot of really big guys have.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting the bat through the zone pretty quick.
Coach, do you think the Indians' recent success has kind of brought our fans back to some of getting involved in baseball again?
Yeah, I think you hear more people talking about it. You know, but for these kids, I'm telling you, they're spoiled because they just think that's how it is. Because growing up, that's all they've seen. They've seen the Cavs win, they've seen the Indians win. They just think that's how it's supposed to be. And, you know, us old people know that that's not been the case. So I think they just kind of expect it.
Take a look at it here, showing the replay. Anyway, the 16 to 18-year-old league, senior boys, 10 teams, 120 players. They began on June 13th. The playoffs started on July 15th. 47 games were played, 9 of which were playoff games. And only 5 games were rained out in June. Again, they had to start in later June because of the high school rules. And to look at the teams that have been here before, Michael Zone was here in 2018, a year ago, and they were not successful. And the old ball teams that were here were very successful.
yeah, needless to say, it was a very rainy spring. We had 1,500 games scheduled from the end of March, or from the beginning of March through April. We had 578 games rained out.
Obviously, Tom, we've talked a little bit about the, you know, baseball, which we know is now coming to the end. We're getting ready to go back into school and all that. But, you know, right now there's a little buzz in the town about the Cleveland Browns and the tackle football, and it seems like it's on fire right now. They can't wait to get it started. And it's also reached down to the kids level as we now have teams practicing tackle football in all the neighborhoods in the city of Cleveland. Again, it is Muni football, again, from the ages of a 6-year-old all the way up through 14 years of age. And again, they have a website. It's www.clevelandmunifootball.org. Again, there's a cheerleading program as well as the tackle football program. If you go to that website, they will be able to show you in your neighborhood the name of the organization, the teams they have, and a contact person. Again, that's www.clevelandmunifootball.org. So now leading off is number 10 from Michael Zone, Kevin Morales. Kevin has singled and struck out. Got a lot of power, this kid. I remember seeing him play. He's tough. He got some good hitters. And at the top of the inning, we will have the head coach of the Cleveland RBI program. He'll be joining us where we get a chance to talk about some of the players and their program and getting the kids to where they're going to go. They'll also be honored at Progressive Field for their success. So we got another strikeout. I'll tell you what, I think they're swinging at a lot of bad pitches, though, Coach. That one, a lot of high fastballs.
Yeah, he chased one in the dirt and one high.
Colin Harris started out as a pitcher. I think they moved him to first base, if I'm right, Coach.
I believe so.
What if you had a team like this at Lincoln West, Coach? Do you think you'd be enjoying life a little bit easier?
Maybe. But I was, that's why I was just talking to somebody before the game. I was leaving regardless because I'm coaching my son now, so it wasn't so much about them as it was about me.
Is that tougher now, dealing with the son?
Sometimes, because he's only going into first grade, but he played up with the third graders this year because he's so big. And I know how good he could be, but he got intimidated a little bit by not being the tallest and the best kid like he was used to being in T-ball. So he started off a little slower because he assumed he should be. But I'm like, you're playing with kids that are 2 years older, and I get frustrated with him because he just would play more timid. You can't treat your kid the same way sometimes. So I had to remember and remind myself that he's was a lot younger than everybody else.
Well, I'm sure he can go right home and talk to mommy that daddy.
No, but then as soon as we get home, hey, can we go out in the yard? He wanted to go right back at it. So and I just told Coach Douglas, I said, as soon as he tells me, Dad, I've had enough of you, I said, that's when I'll come back and coach with you.
Connor O'Donnell, the right fielder, number 3. He cleared the fence big time. Colin, what was it? He hit how many home runs here?
Corey said one day down here a couple of weeks ago he hit 3 out of here, and he hit a total of 6 all week.
Wow.
Yes.
He played a tournament here, a team from Canada. I remember observing that game a little bit.
That was a wooden bat, wasn't it? Wooden bat?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yes.
Didn't matter. They still hit them, man. They were like rockets. Again, the score is tied.
That breaking ball just didn't break. Almost caught him right in the head.
A little bit inside.
I love it when a pitcher throws a pitch don't break, Coach. You notice the first thing they do, they look at the ball like, hey, you were supposed to break on that one.
The same with the bats. When they, when they don't get a hit, they look at the bat. It's not the bat, believe me. It's the operator of the bat.
Some sort of user error has taken place.
Thing is, Sox are like 2 for 11, but they've been able to make them count. There's one. They were going to be playing deep on that one.
Oh, absolutely.
They didn't have to do much with that to get that one in.
So base hit, they got 2 on, 1 out. Kyle Dixon, he doubled, scored.
That ball's in the outside corner. He just flicked it in the center field. He didn't waste any time, did he?
So the bases are now loaded. 1 out. Angel Saez.
Have to improve on his caught looking last at bat here. Almost looks like Story's getting a little stronger here as his pitch count rises.
I'll tell you what, they got some nice pitchers in this game.
1-1.
I was wondering why both of them made changes, but I guess when you got this kind of backup coming in, you could do that.
You notice, Coach, that the uniforms, the jerseys, the dry fit jerseys. I was sharing with Anthony Etter from the Indians the other night when we did a game. His mother called me up and she wanted to get her kid on a team, and she said, look, I want to sign my son up. You know, and I said, okay, where do you live? She goes, oh, no. I got to have my son on the Indians team. So I said, okay, ma'am. I promise you.
That's a promise you can make.
Go down to your local store and buy a shirt.
Look at it right here.
He just reached back and fastball had a little tail to it, and Chavez couldn't do anything with it. So it takes some two-out magic here from Harrison.
So Harrison singled.
Single brought him an RBI his first time up. They could use a big one here.
Take a look at it right here. Next one up high. This guy stands in there and he's got some battle to him.
Yeah, he does. And with 2 outs and as aggressive as Coach Martinez is, a base hit's probably going to score 2 here.
Is that the one they said went around it?
That one broke, but it broke a little bit too late.
But he's been consistent. That's all you can ask for. And I think, I'm not even saying it was a strike because I couldn't see nothing from here. Two and two. Everything's wild with twos.
And there's some good hustle.
2-run score. That you predicted, Coach. They will be aggressive.
That was good hustle.
Yeah, that's a tough play over there to make, and
look at it right here.
Hustle down the line. You could see beat it out there.
You folks don't have to make the call at home. That was a great call by the first baseman.
And with those bang plays, the first baseman was kind of looking to see the call, and O'Donnell didn't mess around and came around to score. I'll tell you, he might be our leading candidate here.
You can tell they're a little rattled because the first baseman hasn't been holding the runner, so you know he's going. Well, another run comes in to score. Wild pitch. A ground ball, inches, split seconds, went from could have been out of the inning to 3 runs scored. Now I understand why they say the game of baseball is always in inches.
Doesn't take much. Now it's going to be on Story to settle down his team and get him out of here so I can get back in only down 3. But to his credit, he didn't look rattled at all by any of that.
Mr. Robertson, I did not know that Kevin Stowers was a left-hander. I just
Yes.
saw him toss one back lefty.
Yes, he's a left-hander, been all his life. And I tell you, back in the day, he was one heck of a ball player. There's that low pitch. Kevin gives it consistently all night.
You better believe it. Can't say a word. Hey, he's doing a great job. Folks, you've been watching senior baseball right here from Brookside Taldy Field. We'll be right back for more action, and we will have the head coach of the Cleveland RBI team.
Celebrate sobriety by walking or running Sunday morning, September 15th at Edgewater Park. It's the annual Celebrating Recovery 5K run and 1 mile walk. The event is free for walkers, $25 for runners. Get there at 7:30 that morning for registration. The walk starts at 8:45 and the 5K begins at 9 a.m. This wonderful event is brought to you by the Greater Cleveland Drug Court of Cleveland Municipal Court and is supported by all the agencies fighting the battle of addiction. So please join me, Judge Lauren C. Moore, on Sunday, September 15th at Edgewater Park to celebrate those who have taken the steps to be clean, sober, and productive members of society again. Get more information and register online right now at cmcoh.org.
Online registration closes on September 13th at 9 a.m. and all participants registered by Friday, September 6th will receive a Recovery 5K t-shirt.
Welcome back to Brookside Taldy Field. You're watching the senior championship game, and you're looking at Dylan Trimble leading off here for the Black Sox. He's the extra player. First time up, he's singled. And we also have a special guest, the head coach of the Cleveland RBI team, Corey Douglas. Coach, we sat here a year ago, and it was like a tough story where we didn't come through, but this year, the 2019 has been not only great for the city with everything they've done, but you've been able to put a team together in probably one of the toughest regions. Let's talk a little bit about how that went.
Yeah, we went down to Indianapolis and played in a new MLB format. It was like a mega regional. It was our Mid-East regional, and then they combined the Central regional. So there was 10 teams from Chicago, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Detroit, just kind of all over the place. It was pretty interesting to see, but a lot of really good teams. It was the toughest regional I've ever been a part of. Oh,
Ball
pitch.
skipped away.
Catcher's getting lazy back there.
So, Coach, we talked about that. Well, first of all, I think the one thing that really stuck out, and you convinced me more than ever I should never go back into coaching because, Coach, they played 5 games. They win 4 by 1 run.
Yeah, all 1-run games. So
I think they had an extra inning, and then it was a come from behind 3 times.
yeah, we had 3 different wins where we were losing the game at some point in time, which was pretty good for my heart. I think I had about 15 heart attacks throughout the weekend.
That's how you'll get bounced back.
Yeah. He's gassing it up there.
There he is.
Yeah, they say I'll bounce back, but I don't know if I can keep doing any more of those. I'd take a 15-0 win. Make life a little bit easier for us.
So 1 down. And, Coach, obviously you've seen a lot of the RBI kids and a lot of baseball. What was one of the things that you played a lot of practice, did a lot of preseason games, but what was there something that signaled you like, hey, I think we're coming together?
Yeah, I just think throughout the whole entire summer, our guys are pretty just relentless with their work ethic, and you know, how they approach the game. I mean, you know, there's a handful of games we didn't win this summer, a handful of games we did win, but it wasn't a team that really ever quit, you know, never gave up. In any type of game we played, whether we won big, lost big, somewhere in the middle. And those are normally teams that you think really have a good chance. I mean, that's one thing we felt good about going into the regionals. We had some really good arms, and we were pretty excited about how our team was spread out. We have a lot of older guys, and we had a good mix of really, really young guys. And normally that's a pretty good mix to have, because the young guys are a little nervous, and the old guys can kind of calm them down. And you get some veterans that have been there before; they know what it's like. And it was a really good mix. But you know, honestly, we were relentless, man. I mean, we never gave in, never stopped battling. We played. I mean, the Chicago team was one of the best teams I've ever seen.
And then, Coach, obviously, when you're looking at the RBI program, you've seen it, played it, been involved in it. A lot of the viewers at home mean, what are you talking about, RBI? How does that all work? How does my kid get the opportunity to try out for your team? How does that all play a role? Can you explain it?
Yeah, well, I mean, first step, you just have to play in the league. You know, there's league requirements you have to go through and play. We have a tryout normally right around June 1st. Normally this probably first Tuesday of June every single year. It never really changes. And for the whole portion of the summer, we take about 23 kids, 16 to 18, and we go and we travel and we play all over the whole entire state of Ohio. And Cleveland Baseball Federation pays for that, and our guys don't pay for anything. We play in tournaments nonstop. And then, you know, unfortunately with RBI and MLB rules, is you have to cut down to 15 guys. So within that last week, Rob and John probably don't want to hear this, but I normally wait as last second possible to make my cuts. So I know I drive
fourth or the fifth call from
yeah
them?
I know I drive them crazy, but I try to go from about 20 to 23 to 15 within, you know, 5 days before the tournament, and just give all those kids, as many kids as I can, an opportunity to go to tournaments and play and kind of get showcased and seen by different colleges. It's, you know, it's a fun time. You know, it's not for everyone. We do a lot of work, and there's a lot of time commitments to it, but I think it's one of the only platforms in the world where you can go and travel and play baseball for free. I mean, they pay for food. We get in the city van and travel in city vans. I mean, I don't know another organization or place that does it like we do. I think it's pretty remarkable. And the future seems to be bright. I think next year we're going to have a 12, a 13, a 15, a 16, and a 17/18 that are going to be playing weekend tournaments all throughout the league. And, you know, I think that's one thing we've stressed is, you know, we've been kind of losing the gap on those 16-year-olds that just aren't good enough or ready. I wouldn't say good enough, but not ready to compete against 18-year-olds just yet. So we're trying to close that gap and give those kids opportunities to stay within. So it's definitely great exposure. I mean, from our end, the job is and goal is to get them to go to college and, you know, or trade school to just move on the next step of life of adulthood.
You know, we've always talked about it's more than the game, but also this year the senior boys did a very special project. My understanding it was
yeah,
over
we
by
did.
St. Rocco's.
We did the Habitat for Humanity. It was awesome. I think we had 14 of us, and we went. We built 6 different houses. We did some gardening. We did some painting. We did some, you know, woodwork, different things like that. It was awesome. We did it with, I think there was 100 of us. All of our players went. And it was a really good time. And we got to do through Major League Baseball. So, and it was some hard work. I mean, some of these guys were pulling out massive stumps with pickaxes. It was like some Fortnite stuff. It was pretty wild.
And obviously your team, when you're talking about going and playing that kind of competition, and you've seen a lot of at a collegiate level, being a pitching coach down at Mount Union, what advice do you give to those kids that are preparing to get ready to go to college? What advice would you give them?
Well, you know, one thing I try to tell, this would be a tough play. Good play. Really good play by the shortstop there. Good play, Savvy. You know, one thing I try to get kids to understand that come through with us is, and we try to build it with our practice and our plays, you know, it's time consuming. It's pretty much a full-time job, if I'm telling you the truth. I mean, you normally are in the weights at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you probably have 3 classes, normally like an 8 to 9, little break, 10 to 11, and then a 1 to 2 class, and then you're normally practicing from 4 to 7 every single day. So there's a lot of time that goes into it, and you just try to get them to understand that and prepare them for the guys that are, you know, really interested. And the other thing I try to get these guys to understand is, you know, sometimes college isn't for everyone, and it's okay to go to trade school and, you know, become an electrician or become a mechanic. You know, those are things I try to stress. I mean, obviously, the guys have a lot of want to go play college baseball because they're trying out and, you know, trying to future their careers in baseball. But, you know, and then the biggest thing is just the academic side. You get to college, it's a lot different. You have a lot more freedom. There's so much freedom on your own. You know, your parents don't wake you up and tell you, hey, you got to go to class anymore. And that's one of the biggest things I stress.
And Corey, you've been around the yard, but I want to take a look at this one, Coach.
Yeah, he just barely got it over the pitcher's head there.
Now that's a 6'6" guy that we got it over his head.
Yeah, he had to bounce that one.
Shortstop got palmed a little bit.
Obviously, being a player, then on to being a coach, and then being the head coach and the pitching coach. What made you decide that, hey, this is what I want to do in my summer times?
Well, when I first... Ooh, good bunt. When I first got into coaching, I actually had shoulder surgery, and I was kind of laying around, and then Coach Pete and Coach Leroy said, well, you can't play summer ball in college, so you might as well come and coach with us. And that's what I did. I got into it, and then ever since then, it's the obsession. I don't know. I can't stop. Every year I tell myself this is my last year, and I find myself back here on the dirt fields all summer. Well, now they're turf fields because we're moving up in the world.
I told you it's going to be about 10 more years till Troy gets there, so you're going to have like 10 to 13 more years.
And now I got to wait for Coach Cass's son, Coach Wesley's son.
Yeah, they're going to be playing together, so you'll have them both.
So I got a lot of guys I coach having kids now. Their sons are moving up, so I'm pretty much stuck, I think, for the rest of my life. But honestly, just because I've played it and I know the feeling to go to those regionals, and I know for me there's no better feeling to teach the fundamentals of the game and teach life lessons and life values all summer, and watch our guys go compete against a bunch of teams that, you know, normally people don't expect them to compete about. So that's what gives me my edge and my bring back for all these kids. I think it's pretty awesome to take inner city kids and compete against some of the best in the whole entire state.
And then the other part of this, Coach, is, and again, I'm going to ask you, Coach Cass, because along that journey, he ended up coaching with you over at Lincoln West.
Yeah, we've coached together where he was my assistant, I've been his assistant. But it's pretty easy when we both think kind of the same way. Everything he says, you've heard me say earlier in the broadcast pretty much. You have the same philosophy. You're here to help the kids, and that's why I told you, as soon as Troy tells me I'm done with you, Dad, I don't want to coach, that's when I'll go back to Corey and say, all right, I'm ready to coach, Skip.
We're waiting for you, so I'm hoping that Troy kicks you to the curb sometime soon. Sorry, Cass. To the right side. Oh no. He shakes off.
Tried to rush himself there. Didn't need to because he had plenty of time to get him.
He did. Slow guy out of the box, too.
He just picked his head up too early or what, but he had plenty of time to get him. We just didn't let it get a little too deep on him, I think.
That's that getting the glove down. Now, probably if you put the glove down, you get the high hop, Coach. But
Yeah.
on the turf, you got to think it's going to stay close.
I think he got caught looking at the runner a little too quick.
I think that stolen base was, yeah, Coach Douglas, you think I'm slow out the box? Watch me take off.
That had to be the slowest stolen base I've ever seen. So good job, Kevin. Proud of you.
Good lucky, it was a little high throw there. You know Coach Martinez will be sending him that.
Oh, yeah. You know, we haven't seen yet is a suicide squeeze out of Coach Martinez. That's got to be coming soon. Just a matter of time.
They might not be able to hear him, though, over Perella over there talking so much.
Well, Coach, I have to ask this question. I went and watched your team play a little bit in one tournament. And I'm sure, Cass, you've had this happen at one time or another. You get some of the Hispanic kids, the Latin kids, they only speak that language. And then you're trying to communicate what you want to get across to them. That's tough dealing with that. How did you handle that? Because I saw the way Corey handled it the other day, like, hey, you don't understand what I'm saying.
I mean, sometimes you physically have to. I remember when Joel Tejada pitched for me his freshman year, he wouldn't understand why I kept trying to tell him. I didn't understand why he didn't understand me. I was telling him he was pitching from standing on top of the rubber. He was almost falling over, breaking his ankle. And I literally had to walk out, pick his foot up and show exactly where he had to put it. And then he just looked at me and smiled, and he was fine after that, but he didn't know what I was saying. And then sometimes it took some of those kids that knew enough English that they could tell him what to say, but I don't know if they told him the right thing. I told you every year I said I'm learning Spanish over the summer, and I never did.
We never do. Yeah, I think, you know, the biggest, most frustrating year was when I was at Lincoln West with Coach Cass, and you just had two English-speaking guys and no Hispanics on the team to really help us out and kind of get that barrier. For RBI, you know, I'm blessed with two Latin coaches that are fluent, and we're blessed with a lot of players that, you know, are fluent in Spanish and English, so it really does help, and you really can communicate with them very well. I think it'd be, you know, as Coach Cass did it throughout his whole entire career, it had to be, you know, extremely tough to communicate with the Latin Americans. Just, you know, some of those guys, they're just getting here. You know, they're just getting here from Dominican or Puerto Rico, so it becomes really hard.
Well, when Brian Ruiz came in as a freshman, he had just moved about a year and a half before from Dominican, and I didn't know what he was trying to tell me. He just kept saying it over and over and looking at me, and he just looked. I can still remember his face, and he basically was just trying to tell me, whatever position you want to put me, I just want to play. But I didn't. He was saying I understood baseball, and I guess he was trying to tell me I just want to play baseball.
And that's, I think, one of the coolest parts about, you know, baseball. Is no matter the language, the sport's pretty universal. The basics are still the basics for just about every single kid that, no matter if you go to Japan or you go to Dominican or you come to the United States, you know, the game can be played without a lot of language. And I mean, communication is the key, but the basics are pretty simple. I think you can get by with it.
You know, the one thing I really would like you to talk a little bit about, and I know it happens, especially at World Series time, that your kids are going to play kids from all over the country, and through that process and everything they do, there's friendships that are forming.
Yeah, there's a lot of bonds that, you know, are made from, you know, other teams. You know, last year we played Curacao, and we played in the World Series. We played Austin, and we played Houston as well. And there's a lot of bonds that are made through those. And you know, the guys exchange jerseys, and they exchange Twitter handles, and you know, internet names, and they stay back and forth in touch. And you know, mostly all those guys are going on to play college baseball, so they find themselves communicating through Twitter or playing against each other, you know, somewhere down the road, which it makes it for really cool stories, I think, and a really good life experience.
So this takes us to the top of the 6th inning, 6-2. You've been watching Senior Boys Baseball Championship. And then obviously we want to tell you about one of the best kept secrets in recreation. And again, obviously, this summer season comes to an end. We're back in school, and again, it is free meals. Yes, folks, if your kids go to school and you can go to a Cleveland Recreation Center Monday through Friday, there are free meals that are provided right there at the recreation centers. All you have to be is a student in school. Again, usually between the hours of 3:30 and 5. So it's a great opportunity to send them to the local recreation centers, have something to eat, do some studying, recreate, and make it a real nice day all the way to the end of the evening. So again, if you're interested in finding out more about those free meals, the number is 664-2307. 664-2307. And now coming back and joining us is Colin Robertson.
Well, I'm glad you got to see to talk to Corey Douglas, who lives and breathes baseball.
I keep asking, I ask Corey every year, you know, why, how come, and what it is, you know, and he keeps coming back to that same thing. At Tom, at the very end, he mentioned, I spot somebody, and next thing I know, I'm stuck for 4 more years.
Look, he's going to be coaching after I'm off the face of this earth. That's just the way it is. It's a fact.
It's in the blood, right,
it's
Coach?
Just not, I mean, I probably will be too right up to the end, whoever it's with, whether it's back with him or somewhere else. But
you know, Coach, I meant to ask you this. Obviously, you go out and see some of these games. You got to be chomping at the bit when you see some fundamentals that aren't being done right.
Yeah, we were kind of missed it the past couple innings because we've had some guests in here, but we've seen a couple innings now end with a guy getting thrown out stealing third base. I mean, it's just, you know, and that last at bat, you just took a guy who hit a home run and already had another single up at the plate, and you get thrown out at third base by 3 feet. That's just the kind of stuff. There's being aggressive, then there's just being not smart. And yeah, some of that stuff, you know, at this time of the year, you don't think it's going to happen as much, but.
I'll tell you what, Coach, on these fields, the kid at third overslid it. The rubber has a lot to do with it, and dirt is completely different. You slide on this stuff, and you have a potential chance of sliding over the base.
Yeah, the first time my team, when I was at Lincoln West, we played at League Park. Kid stole third, and he ended up almost knocking me over because he slid over the base that far.
Exactly. Exactly.
Nice easy bouncer for the new pitcher. Eaton on the hill.
Dylan Eaton.
Is that what you teach him, Coach? Step and throw, take your time.
Perfect PFP. Just step, didn't rush it.
Yep.
Didn't take too much time. Where you take too much time, sometimes that's where it ends up down right field. He just did it all in motion, turned his body, stepped and threw.
Okay, Coach, explain to the folks at home, what does PFP mean?
It's a little pitcher fielding practice. Do a lot of it as much as you can. And it's a lot harder for these guys because most of these guys are playing all these other positions, so you can't really, you know, in the summer, you know, you'll see a lot of Coach Douglas's kids are going to be pitcher only, so they can work on a lot of that stuff over and over and over, but it gets a little harder when their best players on these teams are also playing right field, left field, center field, you know, to get them that work. But something you got to do because it's a lot different thing when you're fielding the ball in the middle of the field like that.
So again, folks, we want to remind you that next week we'll be right back here on TV20. And we'll be over at Empit Pool for the 2019 Outdoor Swim Championships. You know, we would be remiss if these guys from TV20 do a tremendous job every year. Every year they make it possible for the kids to be out here playing and showing their skills. I always worry about the guy behind home plate, though. Those balls that are flying back there. I noticed that, I don't know if we can get a picture of them, but now they wear batting helmets to protect themselves. They got the padding. They got, the first time we did it, I remember, I think we had a block of wood or something. But now, look, there's big Dan Monroe. Hey, Danny, great job. The guys on the cameras all over, and maybe we'll get to see some as we go through here. But they're the ones that make it all happen, the guys in the truck. And again, our special thanks to all of them. I don't want to not mention all, but let me just say this. They've done a tremendous job, and we thank you so much. I also want to put out a very congratulatory remark to Patrick Longbreak and Leah, recently married, Mr. and Mrs. Longbreak. So now Pat has a boss 24/7. But they're going to make a great couple. They really do so much good for our city. Sometimes I don't know how we get it all done. You know,
I do, Tim, because of you. You deserve a ton of recognition for what you do for the children of the city of Cleveland.
Absolutely.
You don't get the recognition you deserve.
The man behind the scenes that makes all the parts flow.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate that, but again, it takes everybody. You know, you can look at it, the volunteers, the sponsorships, the coaches, the umpires, you know, the park maintenance people, the scorers, everyone. You know, the parents getting the kids here and making sure, supporting them.
What's really great is seeing a lot of the former CBF and RBI kids coming back and working. And there's another one of those. Another tough play there.
Good
He
play.
made a nice play.
You at home make the call on the play at second base here, huh?
It's going to be another easy one.
Well, usually when Colin says it, it really is, you know, pretty obvious.
But, you know, just seeing like Alex Peralta there, we said, coaching Corey Douglas, Wesley Reyes, all these guys that played in CBF that, you know.
Let's
here's
look at
this play
this,
again,
Coach.
you know, right back to him. Again, he turned his
Now
body
watch
all the
his
way
feet.
around.
Watch his feet at second.
He did a nice job of coming to it. He had his
Stepped
foot
on
on the
it.
base.
Yeah.
He just dropped the ball and transfer.
(6-2). We're in the sixth. We'll play 7. Swing and a miss. Then you're looking at number 5. Again, Austin Mitchell. Sac fly, ground out to third.
And they really need to, Estabrook needs to get something going here. You want to try to wait for 4 runs in the 7th to tie it up. And we already know who's leading off the next inning for zone, so. Nice play there.
Now they made the call and out on this play. I know we'll never get the reaction, but let's take a look at it right here, Cass.
Yeah, it's another high bouncer. Soto cut over in front like he should. Threw on the run, got him by at least a half a step there. Overall, been some pretty solid defense tonight.
You know, here's a fundamental, and I don't know if we can get to see it again, Doug, the replay where he comes in the first. But here's where the base runner could have been called out because he didn't run the bases correctly. And what I'm talking about is usually you always tell that base runner when he's running down the line, you're trying to hit the front corner of that bag. And if you look at that play, he was going toward the back end. I'm not saying the umpire got it wrong, but watch this as he comes in here. And you're going to see, look where he touches the base at.
You got it right on top of, right in the middle.
Yeah, right on the top. See how close it was? If he had hit the front of the base.
He might have got it.
Let's clarify that, Tim. The umpire did make a good call then. Is that what you're saying?
I'm definitely saying that, but I'm saying that the base runner could have been.
Oh yeah, I get
made
it.
it out by not going to the front of that bag.
Correct.
That little second can make a difference. So we've been following this young man on the mound. And they brought in a new pitcher. We had the previous pitcher, and he did a nice job with a lot of strikeouts, but now they're bringing in another pitcher. Let's take a look at the previous pitcher again. We talked about height and we talked about everything else, but let me tell you something. He definitely did some nice job for the Sox here. And these are earlier in the game where you see it. There's one. There's another one on a nice breaking ball. One up high, one outside. That big motion, Coach.
Yeah, he's got a lot of moving parts there, and you can tell all those pitches, none of them look the same. You know, his two breaking balls look different. His fastball, one was, you know, kind of right down the middle. Another one was rising on him. Another one kind of tailed away at the end. A lot of movement up there. He's got something a little funky in his motion. I think he hides the ball a little bit coming out of that big body, and it's hard to pick up probably. Not to mention he throws the ball pretty hard.
So Nate Story did a nice job on the mound for the Sox. So now coming into pitches number 4 for the Estabrook Sox, and this is Travis Carnell.
Is this the young man who hit the home run?
The batter is the one that hit the home run. Yes, he's 2 for 2 today. He's got the single, the home run. He was up at bat when they got thrown out stealing third then last inning. Which, in case I didn't mention, I didn't like. And I think Mr. Carnell was paying attention while he was in the field because he's throwing everything low and away, keeping it away from that power spot. Got away with one there.
He's ahead of him. Tried to get him to chase, but he wouldn't have no part of that one.
I'd have no problem with him trying to chase again. If he walks him, he walks him. You can't give in to him here.
There it is.
And there's why I did not like them stealing third with 2 outs with him at the plate last time.
I think you'd still be talking to that player. What were you thinking?
Well, I wouldn't be talking to him because he wouldn't be in the field anymore, but people on the bench might be talking to him. But.
So now number 6, looking at Kyle Dixon. So now it'll be up to number 9, Angel Chavez.
And that pitch just took off on him right from the get-go. Never had a chance. all turned around on that one. Now one of those fundamental plays right there. He tried to keep drifting back and drifting back and drifting back, and he's got to turn and run, and they're still running. Estabrook kind of fell asleep there. Nobody was paying attention, and both runners just moved up a base. They want any chance of coming back here in the 7th. They got to shut it down right here. It's going to be rough. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. And Harrison's already been on base twice tonight. Oh, but we have a pinch hitter for Harrison. Sorry. I believe it's John Reyes at the plate.
One down, good play.
Jammed him on that one, Coach.
Yep, little soft liner here. Got way inside on him. It's a tough play. That ball looked like it might have been knuckling on him. They made a nice play. Oh, that's not going to stay in the yard. Up it does. But that hit may have just wrapped up a championship for zone there.
I got to agree with you.
He really hit that one. Hit off the fence, halfway up the fence. Just missed it.
I'll say one thing for the zone hitters, they come up swinging the bat. They're not sitting back on their heels.
And Neal and Story did a nice job kind of holding them, but
yep,
kind of been falling apart.
Yeah, he did not pitch that bad. A couple of plays here and there, they're right back in it.
He's having trouble hitting his spots too. The catcher's moving that glove all over the place, and it's causing him some harm this inning. What was that? Tried to pick him off, and he was picked off, so he just took off. Didn't really have a choice because he was out if he goes back to second there. It's another one of those plays where he hesitated, the pitcher did.
Yep.
Just turn and throw, get it to your fielder and let him take care of it.
Wouldn't you rather go after an out other than trying to pick the guy off at second? It's 9-2. Just try and get the batter out. Don't worry about that guy at second.
Right, but in that case, he had him. That kid was,
he did.
He was, I don't know if he was daydreaming, I don't know what was going on, but as we get a runner for the catcher here, but he was stuck. He just didn't react right. If he'd have just turned and chucked the ball right to the shortstop, they probably would have got him. be a long run.
Foul ball.
Good pitch, please.
Eaton's 1 for 3 tonight. And now 2 for 4.
He's going. All the way to third. Heads up base run.
The ball skipped away there. Another error for Estabrook. And that was one of the concerns that their coach had before the game. He said errors and mistakes in the field. Pilley's trying to do too much, and we've seen a little bit of that tonight. Did a nice job getting the ball in. I think the second baseman just tried to make a catch instead of knocking the ball down and keep him at second base.
Exactly. Comes the coach.
You can see the frustration out there. Played so well for so long, it's just starting to unravel for him here late.
Hey, Trav, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Well, why they make the pitching change? We'll take a break and we'll be back with more of the Senior Baseball Championship game. Okay, welcome back to Brookside Talty Field. We're looking at number 14 of the Michael Zone team. And you can tell it's part of the mandatory play, making sure everybody plays. And again, Colin, you mentioned about the outstanding player.
Yes, that kid who went 3 for 3. He had a triple, a single, a home run. He was going to hit for the cycle if he had got up again. All he needed was a double.
Have you already made your decision,
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Okay. You have that right, sir. I'm not even questioning it.
No,
it's the first
you
time
people at home, so you make the call.
So, Coach Gass, here we are in the 6th, 2 outs. And we're not throwing strikes. Oh, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord.
And I don't know if he had enough time to warm up because I think he was out in the field at the time. So Donnie Croft is trying to kind of get loose on the go here, which is never a good thing.
Okay.
They can
discussing
re-enter
the re-entry rule. Again, the rules are designed to give the coaches every opportunity to get the kids into play. So that's what this is about. This is their game. That's why we insist that they play and bat.
Well, he could have walked into second base there. He didn't even notice he took off. Guess he's trying to get that game-ending run to second base.
Yep.
Nice pick over at first base. Base hit here, and we could be going home a little bit early, which we didn't expect the way this game started.
Yeah, it was 2-2 there for quite a while.
In fact, Estabrook took the early lead on him. Thought he went around there, but nobody's checking.
Nobody checked. That's exactly right.
Oh, and they should have, because he did.
He did go.
The catcher popping up, the home plate umpire couldn't see it, but so that first base umpire was ready to.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Would have got him out of this inning, too.
Well, the sun has disappeared. The coolness has come in.
It's perfect out here tonight.
It's not like it was 50 degrees at the high school championship game with the wind blowing through our bones.
Cass, do you remember when Colin made the comment, the sun came out? We had like about, I think, 2 minutes of sunshine.
All right, enough. I was doing jumping jacks trying to keep warm down there.
Why we're holding a runner at second with a guy in third, but
right.
We're gonna play another half inning.
You got it. We're going to the top of the seventh, where the Estabrook Sox will get one more opportunity. But again, you're talking about a high fastball, chasing it, trying to hit it out of the park.
Estabrook's got a lot of work to do here.
Again, you can see some of the parents are feeling the same way over here. Let's just relax. Again, there's a brown shirt in the house. Or is it? I can't. No, it's not a Browns. What is that? Ekin, whatever. Is that a new style they have out there?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. I was just looking for those Steelers jerseys.
Oh, I'm telling you, I have made it public, and I'll make it public every time. When the Browns beat the Steelers this year, and it's going to happen.
Yep. They'll probably split.
And I will definitely be calling Eddie Leon. So we've been talking about tackle football, but the one that's more popular than anything right now is flag football. Again, it is a program all the way from the ages of 6 through 18. And the biggest difference is no weight limit. Everybody can catch a pass. You're not practicing 5 days a week. So this is where, hey, if I get my friends together and say, hey, let's go join this team, we're going to go out there and play. And every year we come back on TV20 and we show you a little bit of the flag football. And listen, the Pee-wees are the funniest ones to watch, folks. So if you got a youngster there that's the first time, all parents, please remember they're sending everybody to flag. It's much safer and it's a starting point. And it's heavily now been endorsed that flag football is the way to go at the youth level with the younger kids for safety reasons. Now they may not run the right way, but they definitely will enjoy the game. If you're interested in flag football, please pick up the phone right now and call 664-3535. You noticed Danny Monroe pulled that camera switch to try to catch me. I remember that, Danny.
Well, you talked about his helmet. He had to get you back.
Yeah, they moved the camera. They were trying to catch me like dozing here. I wasn't dozing.
Yesterday he went to lunch. Don't worry about it.
I'll tell you this, though. A lot of kids got a chance to play this year because of TV20. Be shown their skills. Our special thanks to all of them. I say it every year, but I mean it from the heart. You guys have been tremendous.
O'Donnell's trying to do it all tonight. He's 3 for 3. Come on the mound and pitch the last inning.
They're just having fun out there right now.
Playing baseball, that's what they should be doing.
That's what it's about. Having fun. Although I can tell you could probably talk to a lot of our coaches and they're saying, yeah, we try to have fun, but sometimes the people outside, the adults, forget that it's about fun and it's about a kid's game, and they try to take it over like it's theirs, and
exactly.
We got to win at all costs. They couldn't tell me who won it 2 years ago.
Yeah, like, a month ago, we had 2 women fighting behind the backstop in the game I was doing. And you're not only embarrassing yourself, you're embarrassing your kids.
Same team, too.
Same team. No, 2 different teams.
Oh, was it 2 different teams?
Yeah, 2 different teams.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're embarrassing yourself and your children.
Yeah.
Leave it go.
This is their game. Let them have it.
Exactly.
Let them play fun. Let them go out there and enjoy it. I always tell our coaches before the season cast, before we even start, I say, look, if you think that you're going to make every right decision, if you think the umpire is going to hit every call right, you better go back and play checkers or something, because this ain't working. This is not that type of game. It's a game that where you're three hits out of 10, you're hitting 300, and they think it's great.
Right.
You know? And I'm sure you've had some parents when you were coaching sitting in the background, you go, they're driving me nuts.
Shoot, I was just thinking about when I walked up here, my first year coaching, a parent in my ear in the dugout, like right behind the dugout through the fence. Somebody always knows more than you do, that's for sure. O'Donnell's definitely having some struggles here finding the plate. That's just what Estabrook needs too, is some base runners. O'Donnell's calling for a reliever for himself.
Yes, he's going to throw it over the center field fence.
He did give us a little fake Bauer there. Ironically, O'Donnell is wearing some Cincinnati Reds pants.
Is he really?
He is. Some pants that the Reds RBI team donated because they switched sponsorship or something. He's wearing, I just heard before the game.
Speaking of the Reds, we picked up a player, huh, for the Cleveland Indians?
Yeah, we did.
Ooh.
A couple of them.
Yep.
I can see Colin telling that guy the first time he starts running anywhere other than the home plate or to a base, he's in trouble.
Why would you say that, Tim?
Because I would tell him.
No, keep running, but you're going to run off the field very quickly. One of the reasons we can't get anybody to officiate anymore. The brutality out there.
So we hope you folks from Cleveland remember this. This game, this sport, all the sports, it's the children's game. And what we're supposed to do is make sure that we give them the opportunity to have fun and participate. And when those things are going on, let it go. Let them go. If it's not, then that's different. But there's a right way to do it. And I can tell you right now, and Colin, you correct me if I'm wrong, umpires come to a game, all they really want to do is have a nice game, go home, and everybody have a good time.
Believe it or not, without any doubt, we don't care who wins. And people have, oh, you're cheating. How would I cheat? I don't even know anybody on the field. We're just here to do a game. But you still got those people that think you're cheating. When your team's getting 10-0, you're getting beat, and they're blaming you. It's your fault. Right. Okay. The biggest compliment an umpire can get is when he walks off the field and both teams say, "Nice game." That's the biggest compliment we receive.
Now what he's doing here is he's giving every person a chance to get on that mound and see if they can throw a strike. That's what it looks like to me, Coach.
Yeah, I think he thought O'Donnell was going to get him out of it. He clearly didn't have it. Now Dixon's struggling. The thing is, I don't know if Dixon warmed up. He might be getting loose out on the job there. Luckily, he has the luxury of an 8-run cushion, but a couple more walks and things will get interesting.
Oh. Ball 4 written all over it.
You're down 8, you got to be a little more selective. Not that selective.
He's found his spot there, Coach. Got a couple warm-ups in between there.
Yeah, got a little help. And brought one right back down the middle. And you're not going to have a better pitch than that to swing at.
Dylan Trimble.
I know Coach Martinez and Coach Peralta are just sitting over there. Please just throw strikes. Please just throw strikes. Get somebody else loosening up in the bullpen just in case. So he started messing around with breaking balls too. I think with that, he just reach back and throw and see if they can hit it.
Full count.
Got that breaking ball over.
Nice curveball. Had him on his heels.
Dominic Beeman. You're 1 out away. Mending it right here. See?
That's why you wear that helmet up there.
That's right. That'll teach you, Danny, to put that camera this way. Yeah, the boy Danny! We're all going to have fun today. So that wraps it up here from Tully Field. You were watching the Senior Baseball League, the Michael Zone Raiders over the Estabrook Sox. And as we told you that after the game we'll have a ceremony on the field. Coach Castleberry and Colin Robertson will be selecting their outstanding player. And we'll see if you can match him. So folks, we'll be right back with the closing ceremony right after this.
Hey everyone, summer is coming, so that means it's time to get out and have some fun. Cleveland Recreation invites you to play by registering for any of our baseball, swimming, and junior golf programs. Baseball programs are available for youths ages 4 through 19. The basic fundamentals of the game are taught, and youths progress through various levels, ultimately participating in the Connie Mack League. If you would rather create a project of your own or express yourself through performing and visual arts, the Division of Recreation offers arts, crafts, ceramic programs, and show wagon performances. So come celebrate summer fun. Don't miss out on the free lunch program, summer camp, soapbox derby racing, and a host of other special events. You may even have the opportunity to celebrate an Indians victory in person at Progressive Field. Don't let summer pass you by. Visit one of our 20 recreation centers, 25 supervised playgrounds, 19 indoor pools, and 22 outdoor pools, and have yourself the best summer ever in the city of Cleveland.
Welcome back to Tully Field, and we've just witnessed the Senior Boys Championship game with the Michael Zone team coming out on top 10-2. And we're here with Coach Peralta. And Coach, we were talking about it early in the broadcast booth about how it was important for you guys to be aggressive, and you really stayed aggressive all game. Did you guys feel like you needed to do that against a good Estabrook team?
Yeah, I felt like at the plate we really set the tone, being aggressive, swinging at fastballs in the zone, not chasing, and as you see, we put up 10 runs.
And you did have a person that I know was a team game and a great team effort all around. We talked about the defense was pretty solid. Your pitching was outstanding all night until the seventh inning, a little bit rough until you came in there and closed it out. But we did have one player. We're going to turn it over here to hear about that one player who was our MVP of tonight's game.
Well, it was a pretty easy decision. This young man was one hit away from the cycle, and we all know who that is. Connor O'Donnell. Congratulations.
And on behalf of Cleveland Baseball Federation, Cleveland Indians Charities, we want to present the Senior Boys 2019 champions to the Michael Zone Rec. And now back to you, Tim, in the booth.
Well, there you see it, the Michael Zone Raiders enjoying a championship. They were here a year ago. It didn't work, but this time it did. Again, they played an outstanding team in the Estabrook Sox. But again, it came down to some errors and walks and some bad plays that put them in the hole, and they just couldn't get out of it. But again, our congratulations to both teams for getting here. And folks, again, I want to remind you that next week we'll be right back here on TV20 as we'll be at Impet Pool for the 2019 Outdoor Swim Championships. But before we leave, we want to take one last look at some of the faces, some of the great plays in the 2019 Senior Boys Baseball Championship game. I'm Tim Wells for Tom Castleberry, Colin Robertson, and the many more from TV20. Thank you for watching. Good night, everyone.